13 Days in Ferguson is a brand new special airing tonight on CBS honoring the 10-year anniversary of the shooting of Michael Brown Jr. Captain Ron Johnson and Cedric, the entertainer, at the heart of this special, and they join me now via Zoom to kind of unpack what you can expect from this. Guys, how are you?
Great.
All right. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. So let's just start with kind of tell our viewers what they can expect from this special and kind of what it was like for the two of you to get to make this.
For me, it was very humbling, going back. But I can tell you, it didn't seem like it was 10 years. Once we got back on the streets of Ferguson and went back into the apartment complex where the incident happened, it seemed just like yesterday. Uh, but it was important to go back. It was important to make sure that we continue to know that there's work to be done, not only in the St. Louis area, but throughout this country, to make sure that we're better partners with community and policing, and probably more so when we talk about the African American community and policing. And so it was very humbling.
Yeah, Ferguson is an area that we both grew up near. It was the main place where we would shop, eat, dine, especially on West Florissant, where all the civil unrest took place in the area where Michael Brown was shot. So for me, we wanted to go and reflect on that. Captain Ron and I have been friends since my days in college, so he's very, very young man. And to see him in this role of leadership when our town is in such a high stake of unrest was something that was very concerning. And so we thought that we'd go back on those 13 days of him having to deal with that and just kind of walk us through that storyline. And that's why we were able to and do this special. Really excited for people to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited as well to see it. And I love that you shared kind of your all's personal connections to, kind of the event and the special and the town and all those things. How do you feel like maybe it impacted you 10 years ago? And then how was it kind of going back and revisiting it? Did you feel like some of those same emotions came back up for you, or just kind of describe that to me a little bit?
For me, I was in Los Angeles at the time, so I'm watching most of this on television. So again, to see, the militarized vehicles, the guys in, heavy artillery out on the streets. These are streets where I grew up, where I knew, the actual blocks, the places where people were standing. Was all very visceral and real. And then to go back there, to go to the community, to see the actual spot where Michael Brown had laid in the ground, to kind of, we reenacted some of the shots and the images from that time when it stood in the same places where people were standing, and kind of seeing it from those POVs. And it all came back very real. It's when you're sitting there looking at it from that way, even now, 10 years later.
He's absolutely right. The emotions were high. Were sometimes during the taping we had to take a break because of emotions. For me early on, Cedric was in LA and he actually found a way to communicate with me on his support and concern for me and the community. And so for us to stand there, it just kind of took me back to that initial call that I had gotten from him. Uh, and so it took us back. It took us both back.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because it's something that so heavily impacted kind of our culture and our society 10 years ago. And we're seeing a lot of these events still play out today, unfortunately. So what's something that you all are kind of hoping that viewers are taking away from seeing this, whether it's something about, going back and revisiting, or just a message you want people to really understand and kind of get through, because like I said, we are still dealing with a lot of these same issues 10 years later.
Well, I think people are going to see courage. They're going to see pain. They're going to see hope. But they're also going to see the power of respect and communication, how it can allow little footsteps that I think we've taken in 10 years to turn into giant footsteps across our community, across this country.
And I think that really, that you look at these incidents, sometimes they come off as a monolith. You see, and then like you kind of alluded to, it keeps happening in our society and in our communities, and we kind of see them and we kind of live past them. But for us, Mike Brown was something that his life 10 years later affected. So his death affected so many people. It wasn't just that young man that died that day. Many areas of the community died that day because the energy and the damage that happened. It was businesses that were lost. It was people's whose livelihood was thrown away, all because of that incident. And so we kind of were able to reflect on that. And Captain Ron shows us places that this place was brand new, and now it's not. It's over. They never came back. From that incident. These are the kind of things that I think people kind of dismiss when these kind of incidents happen. That how it truly affects the whole community.
That's so powerful. Well, I really, truly am so excited to see this special. And I thank you guys for, taking the time to go and kind of revisit your area and, give power to it and give power to these names of these people that have been affected, and their names have been told over and over again in society. So
Yes.
I hope that people tune in. I hope that people really feel impact and change from this. Captain Ron, Cedric, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. 13 Days in Ferguson tonight on CBS. Do not miss it.